name is Shirley and welcome to my channel, Joyfully Shirley, where I share with you wisdom about life, spirituality, and abundance. And today I want to talk to you about a crazy story. So let's sit down and get right into it. First off, I want to say that this story is about God and it's about God's grace, and God is amazing. Let's just preface with that. I was on vacation with my dad and we went to Florida Springs. I live in Florida. And this was the last day of our vacation, and it was so amazing because usually for Florida Springs you have to get there really early in the morning, and we got there around noon and they're like, oh yeah, go on ahead, and we're like, yes. So we went tubing. It was nice. I was kicking and my dad was just like laying c'est la vie in his tube, and I was just like just kicking to make sure that we don't run into any of the trees and, you know, being aware of the gators. But it was great. We were tubing for like an hour and a half, and then we were like, oh, let's go to this other area, like let's go to this other part of the springs. So we went there, just going so we can snorkel for 20 minutes or so, not too long because we had other plans. And this was the day that we were going to drive back home too. He does not have any pockets in his swimming suit, and I have a small pocket in my swimming suit. So we wrapped like our car key in Ziploc bags, like 3-4 Ziploc bags, paper towels to wrap over it. And we're like, okay, it's secure. So I put it in my pocket and I kind of just didn't think about it. I'm like swimming, I'm like enjoying the fish. I see some sea turtles and I'm like, oh my God, there's sea turtles. I come out twice, the second time. And then I like look down and I'm like, my key is gone. The car key is gone. The car key's in the water. At that moment, my heart kind of dropped. I was like, okay, it's fine. I can go find it. You know, I know where I was swimming. It's like about like 70 degrees in the water. But, you know, I had adrenaline coursing through my veins. So I was like, okay, I can do this. I can find the key. I went back in the water to find the key. And I also am asking God at the same time, like, can you please help me find my key? Can you please help me get my key back? At that point I knew there's no way that I can find this key logically. I have to rely on God. I can't use any manpower to find my key. I have to solely rely on God power to find this key, solely on intuition. And so I am asking the fishes and I am saying, hey, like, do you know where my key is? Can you direct me to where my key is? Like, and I'll follow them. But there was like no luck. And I was doing this for maybe 20 minutes at this point, and it's already getting cold. And I was like, okay, I saw my dad and he's like motioning me to come back. And I'm like, okay, let me go back. Maybe there's like a miracle and maybe he found it. Nope. So we decided, okay, well, we're gonna have to like tow the car maybe. And we only had one key. We don't have a spare key. So, and we're like hours away from like our house, like plus like 5 hours away. We're walking back to the parking lot and I'm just in my thoughts. I am so frustrated with myself, but in disbelief that this has happened to me, that I could be so careless that I just forgot that this is the most important thing that I have right now and I need to protect it. It was just a really big lesson to me. If you value something, you take care of it. If you do not value that something, like, it's so easy for it to just disappear. Like, if you are not grateful for something, if you're not appreciative of something, God will take it away. The universe will take it away so easily. It's so easy to just be gone. We're walking back. All our phones and all our clothes, all our towels are in the car. I have nothing but the clothes on my back at this point in time. We saw some videos on TikTok saying that, oh, you know, put some duct tape and on the windows and then try to pull it down. So that's where our mind was at. We need to get our phone so we can contact somebody. You know, we can tow the car and then we can Uber home and then eventually go back the next day and get our car. We go to the food truck that was by the parking lot and we asked them like, oh, do you have duct tape? And they're like, oh, no, we don't. But there was two guys, there's a grandpa and his grandson that were standing by the food truck waiting for their food. And they're like, hey, like, what happened? And then my dad explains to them that, you know, we lost the key in the water over there. And he's like, oh my God, I have my granddaughter. She's over there. I think she can help you. She's a really great swimmer. She's a really great diver. And at this point, like, I'm like, oh, thank God. Like, it's not even that, like, I believe that this is the miracle that I'm looking for. Like, you know. Oh, and let me go back, because I was walking to like the food truck. In my mind, like, of course, my mind is racing and thinking about so many different things and what could I have done differently. But at that point, I knew that it was not going to help me in that moment. I pulled out all the tools in my spiritual toolkit and then we do Ho'oponopono. My teacher has a phrase of saying "Gao Xin Shi Zhi Hala," which means, that was very butchered in Mandarin, but it means once you're happy, everything will turn out great. Being happy, everything will be good. And there's also another saying like 家好家正, which means do whatever is best for you. Of course, I'm praying to God, like, God, I need your help. I need your help. I don't know how you're gonna do it. I don't know even if you're going to help me, but please, like, help me. And so I just told myself, okay, let me just stay in high frequency. Let me just, you know, keep the good vibes up. Like, because I know that if I'm like at this low level, like nothing is gonna go my way. Let me stay in high frequency so I can attract the best possible outcome for me in this moment. And I just believe that everything will work out in my favor. And so I met with his granddaughter. She was so sweet, and she was like, yeah, of course, like, I'll help you, and like, let's go now. I am so shocked at this moment because these people have no idea who I am. They have no idea who my dad is. They just met us. They're just waiting for their food, and they're so willing to help us. Like, that feeling of when you're at rock bottom and somebody is holding their hand out to help pick you up. I felt so grateful that even like a little smidget of help, even a little smidget of hope that someone believes that they can help us, that they can help find the key. It was everything that I needed in that moment. We go in the water and we're like searching for 20 minutes. Okay, I don't see it. It's super cold and I'm trying my hardest. And at this point, I'm ready to throw in the towel. I don't want to force the situation. So I told her, like, okay, like, let's just go back. It's fine, you know. Thank you for your help. I really appreciate it anyways. I was getting out. I saw that my dad was talking to this group of guys, and I see like the grandpa again, and the grandpa's like, hey, like, I brought some help. I brought some reinforcement to help you guys. Like, those guys are gonna help you find your key. And like, they're about my age, like about like, you know, 23 to like 26, around that age. And there's these two guys. I see one of them putting a wetsuit, the other one's putting on his fins, and I'm like, oh my God. And I just felt such relief that somebody is trying to help us so much. Like, not only are you bringing your own family to help me, but you're bringing strangers also to help me. Like, you have no idea who I am, Grandpa. But I felt so grateful for him. The group of guys, they were going to another part of like the springs area, but that was too crowded. So they were like, okay, like, let's check out this other area. I heard it's pretty quiet, which is the area that I lost my key in. They were like walking with all their gear, and then the grandpa saw them walking, and he was like, hey guys, there's this guy that lost his key, his car key. Like, would you be willing to help them? And they're like, oh yeah, of course, we're already on our way, like, over there. So it just felt like there were so many things aligned at that time for us to encounter each other. There were so many things aligning for us to encounter each other. They're like searching for about like 20 to 30 minutes. Just one of the guys, he's like went out, went back in, like they're really trying to find it. And at this point, like already a crowd that's forming, and they're all hoping that we find the key. They're all like praying to God to find the key. And even the grandpa is like, all I can do right now is just pray to God that you guys find your key. And I felt the same way. I felt like all I can do is just ask God. Like, there's nothing in my physical control that I can do. And of course, I know that there's another option that we can, you know, get a tow truck and everything. But this was, in my head, this was the easiest option, was to find the car key, you know? My dad, he even told me, he was like, yeah, like, this is gonna be so difficult, like, to find the key. Like, he was already planning on plan B, which is to get the tow truck. And so one of the guys comes and he's like, is this it? He's like, is this it? And the amount of shock on my face was insane. I was like, that's the key. That's literally the key. Oh my God. Oh my God. What's your name? Who are you? Because, like, who is this man? Like, he doesn't even know who I am. And he's like, oh, my name is this. Of course, no problem. And so we went out. My dad invited him to come to our car so then we can, you know, pay them some money because as appreciation. And they were like, no, like, we don't want any money. We were already gonna come here, so it's fine. Don't worry about it. And we're like, you did not have to do this. You do not know us. So we want to do this for you. And so we're walking back with the guy, and I realized that I wanted to ask him questions because, like, I feel like that you have to be someone so special for this to have happened, like, for you to have found my key. I feel like you're a very special person because at that time, like, like it was a very low probability that we were going to find the key. And so he told us that he could feel like the current of like the water, and so he thought that maybe it floated away, and so he went to like a different area, and that's where he found the key. It had floated away. He was also mentioning to us that he worked as a missionary for 2 years, and that was a moment I knew that, oh, you are a man of God. Like, this makes so much sense. Like, I asked God to help me, and God brought you to help me, and it felt so amazing. At that moment, I just wanted to cry that I had the key, because I felt that I had lost everything. I had no way to get home. I had no money. My phone is in the car. I'm soaking wet. I was at rock bottom. And then there's God that was like, I can help you. And God helped me in the most amazing way. The course of events were just, it unfolded in such an amazing way. It was really, truly a miracle. God is so amazing. And like, for God to help me, it feels so like why? Like, because I mean, I'm the one who lost it. But God is so loving. God is so amazing. God can do everything. God is everything. God is everywhere. And the point of the story is, what I want to tell you is that to ask God for help. And there's so many times that we feel like that we can do things, that we are in control of our lives, and so we forget to ask God to help us for things, and we forget to surrender to that amazing, miraculous source of life, source of energy. And the only way that we will be able to understand that God power is when we're in that kind of situation, when we have no other choice but to ask God for help, because we cannot physically do anything anymore. I'm just so happy to be here. Like, I feel like being home and living in this reality where I found the key. Like, I feel so grateful. I don't want to like compare too much to this, but it almost feels like I have a second chance of like life in a way. Like, not that I died in any way, but like emotionally I was like very distraught, like in here. And I got like a second chance, and I feel like it's so amazing. So I want to tell you that God is everywhere, and God can do anything, and that if you really want something, God will send everyone to help you to achieve that dream. Don't think that you have to do it all alone. Have space for God in your life to give you that miracle. Just trust God. Let go of your physical efforts, your mental efforts. And that's my story. That was the scariest moment of my life, and also the most amazing moment of my life. So I hope that you guys found something valuable in this story. And if you did, please give me a like. And I post weekly videos, so make sure you subscribe so you can catch the next one. And I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.